You are listening to the Primetime Podcast with your hosts, Bryant Chisel and Jake Jorgensen. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Week 4's rewind. We've got week 5 on the docket tonight. We're going to look back on week 4. And tonight we have a very special guest, besides myself and Jake. We have Brandon. You won a game.
Let's go.
Welcome.
It is good to be back.
Made it on. We weren't sure what week we were going to get to have you join the pod. But
I wasn't sure if we were ever going to have him on, in all honesty.
It was the least fluky win you'll ever see.
Oh yeah, definitely the least fluky. We'll get into how fluky your win was. All right, let's. I guess we can head straight into the matchups, huh? Get after it. Jake, we'll start with yours because you, holy man, beat Lemons by 50. How do you do it, Jake? 4-0.
4-0. We talked about this every week that my team hadn't been scoring the most points, but was able to get some wins this week. Finally, a convincing win. The projections are never there. Although, actually, this week the projection was, it was 119. So that's actually probably the highest projection for me this year, and the first time I was favored in a matchup. But yeah, honestly, this game was never really close. I got to start Jordan Love once I found out he was expected to play. And although it started out very poorly in the first half, he threw 50. I think he threw 50 passes. I don't remember the stat off the top of my head, but he was just throwing everywhere.
54.
And Jaden Reed, 54, yeah.
Yep.
That does not happen ever. So he fired up the Jordan Love Jaden Reed stack, and it was pretty much over at that point. Everybody did well for the squad. Brandon Aubrey on Thursday night. Shout out Brandon Aubrey. He actually did miss his first field goal. I forgot how many yards it was, but
it was crap. I remember watching it.
65, 66.
Was it a big one?
I thought it was a shorter one.
I thought it was.
No. He made a 65, didn't he? Did he make?
He made a 50 plus, so potentially. No, I think he made the 65 last week, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm definitely wrong. He did. I
thought it was a 40 something, wasn't it? Oh,
yeah, I would guess it was in the 48 to 53 range, somewhere in there. But it was one that
51.
There you go.
51, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, so because I just wanted to call that one out because I said Brandon Aubrey's projection should be about 15 against the Giants on a Thursday, and he would have got 16 with that field goal. So, but that's Brandon Aubrey. He's been my MVP this year. Besides that one miss, he's not perfect, but he's been pretty close to it.
Essential keeper.
Maybe. You never know. Brandon Aubrey keeper. And then, I think I told you guys this, that I always am a little hesitant to not start Jameson because I know what he can do. He had a 70-yard touchdown on Monday. Can't complain because Jaden Reed was already started and he popped off. But I actually am not able to figure out why he's not getting that many targets the last 2 weeks. I guess it's just they have so many weapons that they don't have to pass the ball too much. But every time he has the ball in his hands, he's insane. And he has the potential to break one for 70 yards like he did yesterday.
Yeah, this is incredible. The Jaden Reed is just doing absolute work. You have Stephon Diggs putting in the business as Tank Dell's missing games. CeeDee Lamb finally got that game. Of course, it's against the Giants. Jordan Love cooks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's just magic on your side of the ball, dude. Jake Ferguson's looking like stud. I can't believe you didn't accept my trade.
Yeah, you did. So Bryant did send a trade of Mark Andrews for Jake Ferguson.
Straight up.
And I actually didn't decline it right away, but I was 95% sure I was going to decline that. And I'm like, what am I talking about? I don't want Mark Andrews on my team. I think I declined it during the game or something like that. But
pussy.
Yeah, Ferguson's been solid. Yeah, well.
He declined it before this week. Let the record show.
Okay, I did.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I believe it was.
Nice.
It might have been after Thursday, but it was before the games. 'Cause I remember texting you. I'm like,
Okay.
I asked you
Oh yeah,
who.
I remember this now.
I asked you who the trade was for because I sent it to you. I think maybe right after the games last week or sometime the previous week because I didn't remember who I had even offered you. I just got a notification that you declined my trade, and I was like, oh well, maybe that's a good thing. It was not.
Yeah. And also, I just looked at David Montgomery. He's been very solid for me
Oh
still,
yeah, he's
which
been
is
a
great.
stud, dude.
Love that. Love that for me. And then I also just checked. So Najee got 10, and that's like been pretty standard for him so far. And I think I just saw. I don't think he scored a touchdown yet this year, unless I'm looking at that. Unless I missed it.
Looks correct to me. No rushing and no receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, I think
So
Fields
he's
had 2
due.
rushing touchdowns this last
Yeah,
week.
and if Fields is the starting
That'll
quarterback,
happen.
you're probably gonna get a lot of that. Fortunately, on top of was it Jalen Warren? He probably has a couple.
Yep. Yeah. So this team going forward, like you said, it's 4-0 team. I'd like to have a stronger second running back than Najee Harris, so maybe I'll reach out to see if I can upgrade that second running back, pick up a third from somebody that isn't doing so hot right now.
Like Devon Achane.
We'll see. We'll see. There's a couple running backs I have my eye on across the league, but
I can't believe
I'll have to
Jameson
look-
Williams wasn't in your lineup. Good choice.
that's
A
yeah,
touchdown.
that's just my receivers are good.
catches.
That's the best part of my team. Yeah, 2 catches. That's why I was like, and
80
I
yards
saw
and a
both
touch.
of them. I didn't watch the whole game, but I would walk into the room and I would see Jameson Williams just pop off, which was 2 times.
Maybe you should be watching all the games.
I should. The Lions are that's definitely the team I own the most of across my leagues because I
Yeah.
got David Montgomery everywhere and I got Jameson everywhere I could.
Well, there you go.
So, yep. And I picked up picked up Trey Tucker this week before the game started.
Don't
Now
care.
with Devontae requesting a trade, it was just a free receiver to grab off the waiver wire. Could be solid, but won't need him. I hopefully won't need him.
Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. All right, I think we're gonna get off this matchup. I don't really care about Lemons' team at all. It kind of stinks. You know, Tyreek Hill's being, he's been disappointing because you have the whole Skylar Thompson slash
That offense is a shambles.
Footsteps Huntley is out there. Oh, Footsteps Flacco. What do they call Huntley? Snoop Huntley.
Snoop.
Thank you.
Snoop, yeah.
Bowler.
Yeah, there you go. Pro Bowler indeed. Patrick Mahomes has been struggling. He might continue to struggle with Rashee Rice out. Granted, Travis Kelce might benefit from that, but I don't know if Mahomes is really going to uptick from that. I doubt it. Metcalf's been good. Robinson's been good. Rashad White's been pretty disappointing. And everybody else isn't really even worth talking about, in all honesty.
Real quick,
Except
we
for
did
Kareem
talk
Hunt.
last week. We talked last week about whether to start Burrow or Mahomes. It's going to be a tough call going forward with no Rashee
Yeah,
Rice, but
I think
it's
I'm
hard to not start Mahomes, for sure.
If it's me, I'm starting Burrow almost no matter what, unless they have a really bad matchup. I don't think I can start Mahomes anymore. You can try to trade him. Maybe his name holds value, but holy man, is that not usable for fantasy football?
Brandon, thoughts?
Well,
Unironically, I'd rather start Anthony Richardson.
It's funny because I do
That's
think
painful.
Mahomes.
I don't know about that one.
I do think Mahomes probably played his best game of the year, just football wise. After Rashee Rice went out, he did manage the game really
Yeah.
well. I mean, that pick. I don't know if you saw that pick. It was
No.
brutal. Which ended up that was the play that ended up with the Rashee Rice injury.
Yeah,
Yes, he threw a pick, and then whoever it was that picked it ended up fumbling, and then whatever happened, it ended up Mahomes like crashing into Rice, and it was bad. But Mahomes played a good game, but yeah, fantasy wise, he's pretty tough to own right now. I'd have to imagine.
Well, and that's the thing, man. You can be a great NFL quarterback and not be good for fantasy if you're a pocket passer. If you don't get any rushing yards, which he gets a little, right, but not enough to be meaningful. Throw 1 or 2 touchdowns in a game. Throw for sub 300 yards. You're not gonna produce in a way that you really want. I mean, you're not Jaden Daniels. Been awesome, by the way.
nobody's Jaden Daniels.
True.
Yeah.
Except Anthony Richardson.
Well,
Just kidding.
Yeah, if I'm Lemons, I'm starting Burrow
Yeah.
probably until further notice, unless the Chiefs do. I've seen some trade murmurs if they do make a trade for someone big. Of course, that could change things, but I think you got to go Burrow. Although I'm pretty sure I'm playing Lemons next week, so I don't
Start
care who he
Mahomes,
starts.
Mike. Start him. All right, we're gonna move on. Me versus Cade. Saquon take the wheel versus the Olave Garden. The difference here was really Josh Allen, in all honesty. 4 points on that game. I think that was a Sunday night game, I think. And yeah, I mean, 180
Yeah.
yards, sacked a few times. Buffalo just didn't really look right. Jane Daniels gave him the nod. I was a little nervous, especially in the first half of the Dallas game on Thursday when Dak had 2 touchdowns basically right away. I was like, oh, crap. Well, turns out that was the right call. Let's go, baby. Not that it really mattered that much. I wasn't super stressed about this one after the noon games. It was looking a little shaky for a while, but Mike Evans had a good game, and Kyron and Kamara cooked. My offensive tackle didn't have any catches, but that's okay. Marvin Harrison caught a touchdown right away and didn't do it on after. I don't know. That kind of seems to be his MO. He's been getting a touchdown, but touch and go. Arizona's not really that great, it seems. Nico Collins, Brandon, kiss him goodbye. He's a stud. Wide
Yep.
receiver
I
one
don't
of
wanna
the
talk
year.
about that.
Holy man.
That's
20,
tough.
30, 12 and a half, 37. Jeez. Saquon and Etienne were both pretty quiet. Cole Kmet was fine. Cooper was quiet. On the bench, Kenneth Walker had a huge game, and I totally respect benching him because I would have done the exact same thing. I would have done the same thing for a couple of the starts here. Cade was texting me during his matchup telling me how his flex decision's always impossible because of all the guys he has, whether it's Kirk or Worthy. That was before the Kenneth Walker game. I agree with him. I think Cooper probably would have been my start out of that group this week. Going forward, maybe you can have more confidence in Worthy. And Christian Kirk's, that's 2 games in a row for him now, so maybe you can start putting him in. But yeah, Kenneth Walker, Detroit's run defense so far this year had been really, really good before the Monday night game. So plus coming off an
And Cade-
injury.
He kind of got shafted with. I mean, not that it would have mattered with the result of this matchup, but I saw on Red Zone that Cooper had an 83-yard touchdown ruled back by a super shady hold call. Like it
Yeah.
was a
Oh,
very touchy call. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered the result, but
Yep.
I would have made it like 20-something plus points from him. So
Can confirm.
the game's the game.
I think Carson Steele might be ending up on the waiver wire if anybody's interested.
yeah, that's fair.
He's a fumble machine.
All right, let's see. We're gonna go George and Preston. These were all pretty good games. All of them involved Monday night players. This one, I think it was Jalen Waddle, Sam Laporta on Preston's side of the ball. George had anyone? No. So Waddle disappointed. Laporta was okay. I mean, you're hoping for more with Laporta, but based on how this year's going, you're honestly pretty happy with 9 points.
They also took a shot to Laporte at the end of the game. There was a penalty on that play. Well, it was offensive. It would have came back
Gotcha.
anyway, but
Fair enough.
that would have got him the win.
I am gonna throw some shade on Manthai here on this one. Jake, I remember distinctly discussing benching Jalen Waddle and starting Zach Moss last week during the rewind. That would have won in the game.
Hey, how do you sit Zach Moss for Waddle with that offense?
I don't know, man. I wouldn't be starting Waddle the rest of the year unless the quarterback situation improved.
That would have won Manthai the game.
It would have. And it was kind of a no-brainer in my opinion, but I don't know.
I think I said Waddle or Ayuk would have been, or he would have been
Oh, yeah, you
Waddle
might be
or
right.
Ayuk.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Oh, that's funny. Questionable management
Some people,
going on.
not
here,
everybody
Preston.
listens to the podcast.
Oh, no, apparently not. So, yeah, Manager of the Year award, 0-4, and probably deserved. In all honesty. On Georgia's side of the ball, he won, but he's probably not very happy. Lamar was okay. He kind of stinks at football, if I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't know. At least passing wise, he can run and he can be dynamic, but 156 passing yards, and you looked at his pass catcher stat lines. Mark Andrews was catchless. Likely, I think, had a catch. Aguilar had 2. Flowers had 1. Bateman, I think, had 1. Everybody just had like 1 or 2 catches. Nobody's catching the football.
It's all Justice Hill.
Yeah, he was their leading receiver. I think he was like 6 for 67 or something stupid like that and a touchdown. So, I don't know. I mean, Dallas Goedert continues to be the tight end 1 in the year somehow. And everybody else, I mean, Brees Hall was bad. Ramondre wasn't great, but he played San Fran, so you kind of expected it. San Fran's defense was his top scorer. Oh, Lamar edged him out by 2. Never mind. But darn is it close. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're George, you're probably not very happy. It's nice to see the bench putting up some points, I guess, but I mean, you're not starting these guys over who you got in. So maybe Juwan Jennings hits the bench, right? But
He should be getting AJ Brown back soon, though. They have
That's true.
a bye this week,
Oh, do
and
they?
then I heard he's supposed to be back the
Okay.
following week.
yeah, that would be big for George because he could use that. And the Eagles could use that too. Holy man.
Yeah, with Brees Hall, I did see it was pretty much a 50-50 split on the snap share this last week.
Yeah, and he didn't do nearly as
Allen.
much as Braylon Allen did with him. Brees Hall had touches. 10 for 4 yards. I don't remember what
Wow.
Braylon Allen's stat line was, but it was better than that.
Yeah, I would imagine they stick to close to 50-50 snap share if this is how it's going to go. I mean,
for
that week, that
34.
whole game was just ass, but still.
I mean, don't get me wrong, 8 for 34 isn't the best stat line in the world, but it's over 3 yards per carry, and Brees had, what, half a
Less
yard?
than
Not
half a
even
yard.
half a yard per carry? It's like, dude, what are we doing in New York? Maybe Denver's defense is just that good, but 9-10 in a tough loss. Yeah,
They missed that field goal
Yeah.
at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Zuerlein.
Greg the leg.
Yeah, that killed my dad's survivor.
Anti-survivor pool.
Anti-survivor pool. We picked the loser. Yeah, the Broncos lose that one.
That killed Andy Yates's parlay. I think it was 6 teams.
Oh,
Would have won
man.
$1,000.
That is tough.
Jets.
Oh,
Yeah. He's not happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. All right, next up we're
Okay,
gonna go
so
with
if you-
golf on. Ooh, Jake.
Real quick though, if you're Mantha and he's 0-4 now, right? I want to say he's 0-4. Yeah, Mantha's 0-4.
Oh yeah,
You have Devontae. How are you feeling? Like, are you trying to
Ecstatic.
trade him, get rid of, or you're happy that he's requesting a trade? Like, we don't know how long he's going to be out for this
Yeah.
trade to happen.
I mean, you're happy he's requesting a trade because I think it boosts his value. And now whether or not you want to keep him or trade him is up to Preston. I mean, you're starting 0-4. You still definitely have a chance to make the playoffs. He's got a solid team, and realistically, I've seen teams make playoffs from starting off 0-4, maybe even 0-5,
Yeah.
right? 0-5 for me is that cutoff where if you go 0-5 in a league like this, I would totally get pulling the plug. If it's me, you can try to trade Devontae on the mystery of where he's going to go. I think people would probably be interested. And, I mean, even if he doesn't go anywhere, it's not like he's a bad player. He didn't play last week, obviously, but he's been all right. He has the potential to be great, but I don't know, from the conversations that we're hearing out of Vegas, it doesn't really sound that positive for him playing for them anymore. So we'll see, I guess. All right, we have Laner versus Nick B going on here. Honestly, fantastic game. Nick was probably feeling pretty solid about this going into it, and I don't know how Lane was feeling, but I can imagine it wasn't the greatest. He was down, 30, 40 points going to Monday night. He had Goff and Amon-Ra. I don't think Nick had anybody. Yeah, that's correct. And then Goff and Amon-Ra just chucked it around, man. Amon-Ra finally had that game. I don't think he's had a game like this all. Oh, okay. No, he's been great. I take that back. But Amon-Ra's been, flying apparently, and got a big game tonight. Jared Goff finally looked good because I know he's been struggling. That was a ballsy start, in all honesty. But I respect it. Got the job done. I don't know if Lane really had a choice. T-Law is his other guy. Poor dude.
Yeah.
Debo's back, though. That'd probably help Lane. I don't know if Keenan Allen's the guy I'll be starting based on this talent. Yikes. I mean, he got hurt, right, and didn't play 2 of his 4 games, but 7 points week 1 on 11 targets, and then 5 points this past week against the Rams. Devo's probably popping in there. Derrick Henry's a stud, it turns out. 41 points.
Yeah, I want to know what Lane was projected. What the projections were before Sunday night, because Sunday night and
Yeah.
Monday, Lane had some big performances. Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra, and Goff.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
massive. Yeah, he was just shy of 200 yards, had a couple tuds. Yeah, he was Derrick Henry, that's for sure. Nick's side of the
I also
ball.
wanna-
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I also want to know what the score was before that last Amon-Ra touchdown because I forgot how many yards it was, but if it was like 12,
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that's a catch. That's 12 yards and a touchdown.
And it would have been a
That's,
Goff touchdown. He was totally losing.
Oh, and a Goff. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God. That's
Oh, that's
Oh, that won the
crazy.
game.
that did win in the game.
Plus
Wow.
Seattle defense on Nick B's side.
That's crazy.
Not that it mattered, but
I didn't think about that with Goff, but yeah, he was definitely gonna lose.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good for you, Lane. You know what? I'm happy for you, man. On the other side of the ball, Jordan Mason's still been great. He's going to continue to be great. It sounds like Christian McCaffrey is not going to play until November at best. Malik Neighbors is continuing to be a stud. Good luck trying to trade for that guy. Nick's probably got an iron grip on him. Kyler is really the only piece you're upset with if you're on Nick's side of the ball, right? I mean, it's 2 weeks in a row now where he hasn't really been that great. And to do it against Washington, I mean, they just got blown out of the water, man. It's crazy. Anthony Richardson got knocked out of this game pretty early. Was it Flacco took over in this game, right? He's
Yep.
with the Colts now. Yeah, Footstep took over. Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback. Let's go, man. Because they won that game. And it sounds like Anthony Richardson isn't going to miss time. But if you own any Colts pieces, you want Anthony Richardson to miss time. Because Anthony Richardson can be okay for fantasy, but he's not a good quarterback. I think everybody's aware of that at this point. When Flacco's in, well, Michael Pittman's playable and, dare I say, really good. Guys like, was it Josh Downs? I mean, he played, JT gets a boost. Everybody gets a boost. So, we'll see. It sounds like he might not miss time, but I don't know. Maybe he misses a game and Greg is happy because he can finally start Michael Pittman.
And shout out Malik Neighbors, will be a keeper for sure. 100% will be a keeper next year.
Shoot, he's
for Nick.
Just man.
Insane.
He's so good at football. I mean, that's about it on this one. It was a fantastic matchup. Lane came back from behind, and yeah, I don't know what to say about Nick other than, Kyler must be prepping for the new Call of Duty or something, thinking it up. All right. We have the matchup of the week.
yeah, baby.
All right, Shiz. Walk us through how DJ has got you falling in love.
Yeah, I was very tuned into the Eagles and Buccaneers game, watching Baker just rattle off these touchdowns and Hurts with negative points at halftime. Garrett Wilson, negative points at halftime. We were watching the Packer game together.
Yep.
I was kissing this game goodbye after like the first half of the noon games. But there was a very comical moment where I was looking at Greg's team. Everyone was going off. I was like, at least Jamar Chase has 0 points. And then about 30 seconds later, Bryant goes, "Oh, Jamar Chase with like a, what was it, like 63-yard touchdown, 67-yard touchdown." And I thought he was fucking with me. I was like, "Oh, that's funny." And then I look at my phone and it was real. I was like, "There's no way this is happening."
Yeah, Brandon was falling apart in the noon games. He was like, "This game's over. My team stinks. I'm going to be 0-4." It was full meltdown. It was very entertaining.
I obviously got bailed out big time by Rashee Rice and Christian Watson, both being knocked out. I mean, basically one first down catch from either of those guys, and I lose this game. So, a win is a win. They all count. But I was also really going through it between starting James Conner or Zay Flowers in my flex. I actually was just about to put Zay Flowers in and then decided to ride with Connor, and he did his job. One of my best players this week. So yeah, it was fantastic. Great to get my first freaking win.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Needed it.
it's a win, and you did need the win. I look at Greg's team. I see exactly how you got the win. A couple gooses, not some bad injuries. I don't know how repeatable this is. He still only put up 108. Jalen
Hey,
Hurts
you
was
know
still
what?
bad. You need AJ Brown and Devonta Smith back, at least one of them. Garrett Wilson still not really doing it. Another fumble. Deontay's a stud. Good for him. Bijan's been pretty mid.
He
James
got
Conner,
outworked by Algier
They
this
just
week.
haven't. I
God,
cannot. I don't know why they just don't use Bijan.
it's crazy.
I don't
It's like
understand
Arthur
it.
I
Smith
thought
is
it was an
still
Arthur
there.
Smith problem, but
Maybe it's a
7
Bijan
rush
problem.
attempts for 28 yards.
maybe it's a Bijan problem.
Fan.
Started to scare me. I was talking with Kate about that because obviously I traded with him. I got absolutely fleeced, of course. Don't really want to talk about it. But he was like, "Yeah, I'm happy not to have that Bijan headache." And I was like, "Yeah, I wish I had that Nico Williams back on my team." But
Nico Collins.
that's what I meant. Yep, Nico Collins.
He hates Nico Collins. Biggest Nico Collins hater of all time.
Huge hater.
But
Yeah,
it was good to see Kelsey produce this
that's
week.
exactly what I was gonna say, and I think that goes hand in hand with Rashee Rice missing time because
That's true.
I think you can expect this from Kelsey rest of the season if Rashee Rice is out all year. I don't know. The reporting has been kind of weird around that because originally they're like, oh, it's probably a torn ACL, in which case he's done for the year, and then they were talking, oh, he might be back during the year, and then they were talking, oh, well, we can't confirm it's a torn ACL, so now we're running more tests and we're not going to know until next week. So I'm kind of confused. Either it's a really, really bad knee injury or he might be back.
Yeah, this is really weird. You don't usually see something take this long. Usually you get an MRI the next day and you find out like 2 days later max.
Yeah, usually if
So
it's a torn ACL, you
it is
find out
weird.
pretty quick. So either it's a bunch of torn things and it's really bad, or he didn't tear his ACL, or maybe it's a partial tear or something, and he has an opportunity to be back this year, which would be huge for Greg and me, a Rashee Rice owner in many a league. So that'll be something to monitor, I guess, for this next week. But in the meantime, I mean, Rashee Rice is almost for sure going to miss at least a month, and Travis Kelce's going to be a massive beneficiary from that. That's for sure. In my opinion, you could probably chalk him up as tight end one rest of the season if Rice is out.
Similar to you offering a trade for who was Jake's tight end? You said you offered
Ferguson.
Ferguson. I believe Brian offered me a Mark Andrews for Kelsey trade with like
Whoa.
some sort of pick swap in there.
Yeah, I think it was like a 12th or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like it wasn't a crazy pick swap, but he decided to ride with Kelsey and paid off this week.
Pain for me.
Yeah,
Because
guy.
Kelsey was stinking it up too, so I thought maybe there was a chance if I threw in a decent pick.
I had a little bit more faith in Kelsey, but
That would have been that would have been crazy actually, I think. Even though he hasn't done great. That would have been wild.
Hasn't done
about
great
Greg's
is an
bench?
understatement. Greg's bench is, I feel for Greg in this one, in all honesty, because you can't start Michael Pittman. All year he's been trash. Anthony Richardson gets hurt. Now he can be good. The problem is Anthony Richardson's going to be back next week, which means you can't start Pittman again. So you just see this and you're sad because you know what he can be, but the quarterback situation there just isn't good enough to do it. DeAndre Swift is back from the dead. Basically the same situation, except for some reason, I don't know. DeAndre Swift must be hearing me hate on him every week or something. Maybe he tunes into the show.
he must have heard all
Over
the
the
Roschon Johnson talk.
Yeah,
It was a
Yeah,
ton of
over
talk
the
in between
last week
weeks.
it was over the last week in particular, it was really bad with the DeAndre Swift discussion.
It was
he
really
did
bad.
silence the critics there.
I mean, 7 catches for
game.
72 alone is great. I mean, then you tack on 16 for 93 and a touchdown. I mean, he just looked good in this game. Not only did he produce for fantasy, but he looked like last year's DeAndre Swift, which is huge. Pat Fryermuth continues to produce. I might have to hit Greg up because Brock Bowers and Pat Fryermuth are both performing at least to a level above Mark Andrews. Justice Hill, leading receiver on the Ravens, I guess. I don't know. He's probably the same situation as those other guys. He's been okay this year. You can maybe flex him in an emergency, but I don't really want to start him next week. I mean, is he going to get 6 catches for 78 and a touchdown again? Probably not. He might not
He
do that
reminds
for the rest of the
me.
year.
He reminds me a lot like Jerick McKinnon when he was on the Chiefs. Like he kind
Yeah.
of plays that same role. It's like you don't really want to start him because he's not on the field that much. But then he'll have weeks like this where he's getting like receiver amounts of catches and targets with a touchdown. It's like, what's going on? But yeah, I don't know if you can ever start him.
It is something, that's for sure. And thankfully, Greg has Baker because everybody else, every other quarterback he touches just dies. Kirk Cousins 5 points. Tua, yikes. I don't know, man. Zamir White stinks. You can cut him, Greg. Holy shit, he's horrible. And he plays Denver next week. Maybe you can trade him to George. I don't know what else to say on this one, man. Brandon, your bench, Jerome Ford had a pretty solid game. I told Brooklyn to start him over Kenneth Walker in her league. I feel bad. I mean, it's not like Ford had a bad game. Kenneth Walker had like 30-something points.
Hopefully, it didn't matter in her results.
Yeah, I'll have to ask her. Calvin Ridley's been massively disappointing the past few weeks. I don't really know what's going on. I think it's a Will Levis problem, I guess. It kind of stinks.
Yeah, and he only played like half the game because
Oh.
Mason Rudolph came in the game.
Oh, yeah, true. Which is,
'Cause Levis hurt his shoulder, I think, like diving for a first down, and then
usually when a quarterback like Will Levis is playing and he's struggling so much, you're hoping the backup comes in because it's usually better. But with Mason Rudolph, I don't know if that's really the case.
once he came in, Pollard just started cooking.
That's
I don't
true.
really know. It was weird. The run game, like it's like
Yeah.
where they're gonna run every time, but they still. Because I actually, unfortunately, watched that game because I was glued in on HM. But
That
yeah, it was just a ton of running after
must have
Rudolph
been
came
devastating for you.
in. That offense is one of the worst NFL offenses I think I've ever had to watch.
Yeah, it's
brutal,
bad. It is not good.
especially with all those weapons they have. Tyreek Hill was very audibly pissed on the bench. He was screaming at the QB like almost every
At
time they
Snoop?
showed him on the bench. Yeah. Oh, he was pissed.
Boo. Huntley's a
It
stud.
was a tough game.
People were crying for him.
Yeah.
Jeez, not good. Not good in Miami. Maybe they should trade Tyreek Hill. All right.
Free Tyreek, yeah.
We're gonna hit
Very
the
accurate.
matchups, or the league standings. Jake, you are the only undefeated team in the league. Who would have saw that coming? I can't help but notice your points against is easily the lowest by almost 100 points.
I can't control who I'm playing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
averaging just over 90 points a week.
That's
that is
crazy.
skewed by my 69 last week.
Nice. Yeah, and Jake shouldn't have won that one, so it should be skewed. Oh yeah, 532 don't lie though. That's a very respectable score. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the
This
league's over
this
500.
last week, scoring like 160 something was very clutch. Here.
Yeah,
very
that
clutch
does
for
make
this
you
point
look a lot
score.
better than you probably are. Yeah. So
Otherwise, I wouldn't be in the same tier as these guys in the top 4 or 5.
me beating Cade put us both at 3-1. Lane got a dub. He's at 3-1. George snuck away a win against an 0-4 Manti to get his dub. He is the lowest points for out of the top 5. Nick B putting up 514.4 and being 1-3 is tough, in all honesty. That's rough. There's a lot of 1-3 teams between Nick, Greg, Brandon, and Lemons. So Preston's easily the worst. His team, not good. His management's debatably worse. For me, Lemons is probably the second worst. And then between Nick, Greg, and Brandon, I think those teams have a legit chance to compete this year. We'll see.
I agree.
Yeah, you would. You've had a tough run at it, Shiz, but your team is still good. It's better than it's been performing. But
Cooper Kupp back.
you do need Cooper Kupp back. And from what I hear, he's going to miss another couple weeks, it sounded like.
Yeah, they have a bye. I think they play Green Bay this week, and they have a
Yep.
bye. I've been hearing after the bye.
Okay.
We'll see.
That would make sense. Okay.
Same with Puka.
Yeah. Let's hit the transactions. All right. So once again, unfortunately, we had to record on a Tuesday. So we don't have the transactions from this week. However, we do have for the weekend and all that stuff to go through. So what was that, 28th? So before the games, not a ton of action actually. I dropped Cameron Dicker and picked up Braden Arvison. That was disappointing. He had 3 points and missed 2 field goals. Bummer.
Pretty sure Dicker hit 250 plus yarders too. Could be wrong. Maybe one.
Just one looks like.
Oh, 150 yard.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He's been so bad, and it's not his fault too, right? It's not like he's been actively bad. It's just the Chargers' offense can't move the football. He doesn't have the opportunities. Didn't get many opportunities. So I don't know. Green Bay's defense got picked up. I hope you didn't spot start him this week, Cade. I hope you're saving him for next week. That was the 29th. That must have been. Yeah, okay, that was on Sunday. And then Mike Gesicki got picked up. He had 0.1.
Watching your mouse move over to that 0.1 was pretty funny.
He had 1 catch for -9 yards. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Oh, that's embarrassing. I thought maybe he had a run for whatever reason. For like 1 yard up the middle. Maybe they tried to sneak or something on 4th down. But nope. Lost 10 yards on a catch. And then Trey Tucker. Jake, you talked about how you picked him up. You cut Derek Carr? Dude.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Jordan Love's back. We're
Ignore
fine.
the last 2 weeks. Look at weeks 1 and 2.
Short leash on Derek Carr.
Wow. This guy.
I also looked ahead at his schedule and I didn't love it. And I was like, Jordan Love's back.
Understandable in all honesty. That is not a fantastic schedule. Carolina though, week 9. You gonna pick him back up?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I've got room on the. My team is still made up of a lot of running back stashes that haven't done anything yet. So I'm a little jealous of Nick's team. You know, like Jordan Mason would have been a nice grab.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
taking all those dart throws. If I would have had like Montgomery and Jordan Mason instead.
Who would have
That's
thought?
a league winner right there.
Who would have thought before the season when Christian McCaffrey was, gonna play week 1 and then was like late inactive that Jordan Mason will be the starter for basically the entire season. Tough for
I wouldn't
McCaffrey
have thought that,
owners.
but I honestly would have probably picked that over James Conner playing any meaningful football, and he's been doing all right.
Wow, dude, he was a starter. Don't be
Yeah.
a hater. All right, I don't think there were really any trades since then, so nope, we are good to go. Let's hit the matchup previews quick, huh? So week 5. Oh, I play Manti this week. Nice. All right, Jaden Daniels is gonna stay in the lineup. I haven't really checked this yet. Mark Andrews is for sure gonna be out of the lineup. In all honesty, I have no idea what to do with Mark Andrews. Like, part of me wants to drop him, but I don't think you can drop Mark Andrews. But at the same time, if somebody picks up Mark Andrews, they're going to get a bunch of zeros.
I guarantee if you drop him, somebody will pick him up.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right?
I
It's
will
the
say
law.
that.
Thankfully, Sam
Guaranteed.
Laporta's on by, so Manti doesn't have
is
a tight end
somebody.
either. Oh, yes, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna stick him. I kind of just hope that he gets suspended. Then I can put him on my IR or drop him or something. Yeah, I don't want him on my team anymore. Somebody please take him.
Imagine
somebody
not
offers
having
me-
a full IR.
If somebody
That's
offers
wild.
me a 14th round pick for Mark Andrews, I'll take it. Saying.
Will not happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody will be like, give me a 15th, and I'll give you a 13th.
No. All right. Marvin Harrison's, all these guys. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not going to change much with this team. Khalil Shakir has been pretty good, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't really need him right now, at least. 5 weeks, it'll be nice. Then Chuba is super startable. I should probably try to find a way to get him in, but my running backs are so strong. I don't know. I mean, there's just no way I can, sadly. Rest side of the ball, literally nobody worth talking about, except for Josh Jacobs. I think he'll beat that projection. The Rams' defensive line is pretty beat up. Jalen Waddle better be on your bench, Preston. I don't care that you're playing me. Please start somebody else. Joe Mixon, if he's healthy. Buffalo's doesn't scare me. Zach Moss, I mean, Baltimore's defense was good last week, but I don't think they've been good on the year. Zach Moss has been nice. Play him too. Good. Even Jacoby Myers I'd play over Jalen Waddle. I don't know, man. You guys got me in this one. Can I assume that?
I do.
Yeah, I got you.
Nailed the coffin on Preston's team.
That would be rough.
Season on the line.
It is. All right. Next up, we got Brandon and Lemons, 2 1-3 teams. This is a huge matchup for you guys. Winner is looking okay for the playoffs. The loser is 1-4 and thinking about the future. Jalen Hurts is on bye. That might be a good thing for you.
Yeah, I have some waiver
Yeah.
claims out there. And
Yeah, Derek Carr.
no details. no details.
Oh, man. Garrett Wilson plays Minnesota. In all honesty,
It's in London.
it
It's
is.
a London game.
Yikes. Dude. It's a bummer you don't have another wide receiver there. Oh, if Tank Dell plays, I'm starting him over him.
Yeah.
Not
We'll
Zay
see what
Flowers,
happens.
though. Achan's in your lineup. Bijan's in your lineup. Travis Kelce's, of course, in your lineup. James Conner's in your lineup. Your running backs are nice. Then, your defense have a day. Patrick Mahomes against the Saints. I would bench him for Burrow in a heartbeat, and Burrow plays Baltimore. Honestly, if I was Lemons, I'd be looking at the waiver wire. Tyreek, you're sad, but you're probably playing him anyways. Metcalf, Brian Robinson, the real B. Robinson. Look at that, B. Robinson versus B. Robinson. Nice. Rashad White's playing Atlanta. I don't know if I really have a ton of faith in Rashad White, but I don't know. It's not like Lemons' team really has the depth. Maybe not even Kareem Hunt. I probably roll with Rashad White, in all honesty. It's a tough one. You can put someone else there. Ezekiel Elliott has to get out of your lineup, dude. He plays in Pittsburgh, and he's been stinking it up all year long. Like, come on. He had an okay week 1, and that's it. Trash. Put in pretty much anybody else on your team.
Probably Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, Kareem Hunt is probably the guy I'd play. He got a ton of carries last week.
Although I love Zeke. I really
yeah,
do
I'm
love
sure.
Zeke.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. You're gonna need all the help you can get in this one, buddy.
That's what I said last week.
So, I mean, that's probably about it for this one. I don't know if there's really anything to add. Oh, you know what I should do? I should trade for TJ Hawkinson. That's the idea. We'll ride with Mark Andrews for 3 more weeks. Hawkinson will be back. I don't know how long he's knows. There you go. Because he has Kittle. He doesn't need him. Kittle's a stud. All right. Preston, George.
I've got
You're not
Brandon
gonna
in
say
the
that.
last one. I've got
We
Brandon in the
all.
last one.
I got Brandon too.
I have myself too. You guys will see who I pick up for the QB. Well,
Alright,
if I get them.
I accidentally.
Brian Sky.
Oh, my guy.
I'm joking.
Better not be Taysom Hill.
Oh.
All right. Let's see. So we have squad took me. All right. We have Cade versus Jake. This is a big heavyweight matchup here. We got a 4-0 team versus a 3-1 team. Cade's team is nasty. Jake, you've been getting wins, but your team on paper. Oh, Braylon Allen really have to start, dude.
He does.
Does.
He does have to start.
Okay.
This is what I mean where I
Yeah.
said that my running backs are not super deep, but I've got some a
That's
lot
an
of tickets, and none of them
understatement,
have.
man.
But Braylon Allen, honestly, I'm not feeling the worst about it.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be fine, right? But
This game could get out of
Still.
control against Minnesota, and then just more Braylon Allen time, check downs, whatever. That's how I see it.
fair enough. I don't know. I mean, we've got Josh Allen, Chris Godwin, Nico Collins, Travis Etienne against the Colts, Kenneth Walker against the Giants. Oh, please. Cole Kmet's been honestly performing okay. I mean, he had like 10 points last week. Oh, 6. But he was 5 for 50 something.
That's
Someone
pretty
else.
good for a tight end.
It's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. Xavier Worthy, which I kind of respect the start. Given Rashee Rice is out, you would expect him to see an uptick. But I still think if you don't get the big play, you're going to be pretty disappointed. But
I don't even want to give any insight on who I would start if I was Cade because I'm playing against him. But
Yeah, I mean Christian Kirk
I've
would
liked
probably be an
I've
okay
liked Christian
start.
Kirk for the last few weeks. He's been getting a ton of targets.
He's a bit ballsy because of what happened week 1 and 2, but you're right. He's been getting plenty of targets these past couple weeks. Problem is Jacksonville's been losing all of their games. Who knows when
no
they try and
problem.
mix it. Yeah. Poor Lane. All right, Cooper, you can play, but I think I'd probably play Christian Kirk over him. Charbonnet's on your bench. Singletary, had a bad week last week, but he's startable. I still think I'm on Kirk here. JSN, I'm on Kirk. I think if it's
I don't
me,
know.
I'm
I
going
think I
Christian
would
Kirk.
start Jason. Jason has had also a ton of targets last couple of weeks. He looked really good last
Yeah.
week. He only ended up with like 50 yards. But I thought he was really good. I would start him personally against the Giants.
You totally could.
But he already has Kenneth Walker. I don't know how many
Yeah, I don't know if they're really going to need
Seahawks
to
you want in your
throw. Yeah. If it's me, it's Kirk. If it's Brandon, it sounds like it might be JSN. If it's Jake, it's Zach Charbonnet.
It's Saquon.
Yeah, Saquon. There you go. He's on by. Nice. All right, on Jake's side of the ball, Jordan Love against the Rams. I think he beats that 19 points, no problem. I'm expecting a pretty solid performance against the CD against Pittsburgh is a tough matchup, but obviously you're starting him. On Diggs against Buffalo, Najee and home against Dallas. Yikes. Jake Ferguson. Ooh, you got some Cowboys, Jake, and they got some tough matchups going on here. Might not be sunshine and roses for you. I got Cade in this one.
I also have Cade. I expect Josh Allen to have a huge bounce back week after that loss against Buffalo. I mean, Baltimore.
They did beat themselves in that one, but I've got myself in this matchup.
Shocker.
Just a typical 4-0 team that's projected 105 points. That's how it is.
It is a good time to catch Cade with no Saquon, so you never know.
Fair enough.
He gets to play me without Jameson, though.
True. And Monty.
You didn't start Jameson last week, dude. Don't need him.
I know, I'm just saying that. Yeah, never mind. It sure would be nice if one of those running backs on my bench, like a Jalen Wright or a Trey Benson or whatever, would have been able to be startable by now, but maybe later in the season.
Yeah, good luck, buddy. I don't think any of those guys are going to be startable all year.
I have to hold on. Like I can't let them go.
Trey Benson is the best shot, and that's James Conner gets hurt. Everybody else, I mean, even if Jalen Wright's the only guy,
it's true.
He's on that offense, dude. Look what it's doing for Achane.
Jalen Wright's the guy that, I'll drop first probably.
Blake Corum could maybe step in when Kyron goes out, but I think they have somebody else. Yeah, Ronnie Rivers too. So they'll split time with him. That's pretty bad offense right now too. But yeah.
Official statement: we are not worried about Ronnie River.
Wow. Ballsy, dude. We'll see what happens. Kyron Williams is going to stay healthy all year long anyways, so who cares?
Sure would be a shame.
You watch your mouth. All right, we got George versus Lane. Wow, Lane's only projected for 99 points. Dude, no way does he have to start Trevor Lawrence. Oh, all those lines are on by. Yikes. Dude, Lane, you have to cut Trevor. No way you're playing him.
It's his guy.
It is his guy, but dude. Oh, man. I'm going George. I don't have to look any further. Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen.
I am also going. Actually, you know what? I'm not taking Lane here.
You're going Lane?
Yep.
I'm going George, although I do think that Breece Hall Wade's projection is a little high. I don't know. I feel like Braylon Allen's going to keep getting more and more involved in their offense. And it's London. Weird things are going to happen in London.
Fair enough.
Give me George, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if there's a ton left to say on this. I don't think George is starting. Rashid Shaheed in the flex is interesting, but I don't know if I'm starting anybody on his bench in that spot instead. Maybe Cortland Sutton, but even probably not. On Lane's side of the ball, he doesn't really have anyone to start. Obviously, if Njoku's healthy, I'm putting him in over Gesicki. but that'd be about it. Or Ingram. If either of those two are healthy, I'd play them. If they're both healthy, oh gee, go for the stack with D-Law with Evan
Lane will
Ingram.
go for the stack.
Yeah, I respect it. Although Washington's probably a better matchup, but so I would understand. Yeah, I think Evan Ingram is probably who I would go with if they're both healthy. All right, last one. Currently vomiting and crying. Greg, see what you do to people, Brandon. Jesus. What did he had his team name something else during your matchup too? I don't remember what
It was not like this, I
Oh
think,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
a
It was
picture
not like
of
the
Rasheed
Rasheed
Rice
Rice.
and Watson both down holding their like
It was
respective
really funny.
body.
I was impressed, Greg. I was. All right, what do we got?
The
I'm
worst
not
part is he
impressed
still
with this
almost beat
matchup.
me.
Yeah, he did. I'm not impressed with this matchup. The 100 and 102. Holy man, look at these quarterbacks. Baker will beat 15, and Kyler might not beat 17. Honesty. Yeah, San Fran's tough matchup, man. If you're not doing it against these guys, Washington and Detroit, probably not doing it against San Fran. But because I said that, he'll probably have a good game. You're welcome, Nick. Chase is in your lineup, Greg. Good for you, man. London, Pity City. Like I said, you can play him if Flacco plays. Otherwise, might be playing him anyways. Yeah. Holy man, bye weeks are doing you guys dirty. Oh, Nick has Tony Pollard. I'm buying his lineup at least, so his projections should get boosted. You could play Brown there.
I heard there was speculation on
Bucky
if Neighbors
Irving.
was going to play. Because I
Oh,
know
really?
he had a concussion. I don't know if he practiced today or not, or actually they wouldn't have practiced today. Or no, they would.
Oh,
But
suffers concussion. Tomorrow will be a big one. If he's limited tomorrow, he'll probably play. If not limited tomorrow, then I doubt he'll play. That's
you wouldn't expect them to rush him back.
probably not. They are pretty
But
bad at football.
so that would be really bad for Nick B.
That would be horrible for Nick. Got a point. I mean, BTJ would probably slot right in. He's been pretty solid. And for Pollard, for me, it's probably Bucky Irving. You could throw Chase Brown in there. He's getting enough usage. Apparently, the goal line work too. It's Carolina, but Baltimore's a lot tougher of a matchup. Yeah, horse apiece there between those two guys. That's dealer's choice, but for me, it's BTJ if Neighbors can't go. And you could maybe make an argument for Pickens over Moore, but Moore's been pretty okay, so maybe you roll with him. I don't know who I have in this one, in all honesty. I'm chalking up Pittman for like 3 points. Chalking up Swift plays Carolina. Oh man, he can actually score points against Carolina. Okay, I'll respect the projection. Justice Hill, I'm chalking up for about his projection. Oh man, I want to go Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna go Nick.
I'm also
I'm going-
going Nick B.
Yeah, I like Nick B in this one as well. So
Well, there we go.
I think Swift did so good last week that he doesn't care this one. No, he actually cares, but I don't think he's going to do that well this week.
Yeah,
Seems like
Justice
too good of a matchup.
Justice Hill could easily have like 3 points. You would not be surprised at all.
Mm-hmm.
that is fair. All right. We are going to hop over the roasts. Week 5. Oh wait, sorry, not week 5. What am I doing? 4. Nick took the L here. 3-time champ, more like 3-time loser.
Boom. Roasted.
Attaboy, Jake. You're a stud, dude.
I've been practicing all week. Getting those reps in.
Cade. You know, I did it with an offensive tackle in my tight end slot, so suck it.
Boom. Roasted.
Greg, I don't really have the heart to roast you, in all honesty. But I will anyways. Your team is more hurt than your ego after losing to one of the worst teams. You stink.
Oh,
Boom. Roasted.
Oh man, Preston's is pretty easy. Congrats, dude. You have graduated from the joint worst team in the league to the worst team in the league. You stink.
Boom. Roasted.
Manti's on relegation watch.
He is.
We're dead.
Hey, we should do that. Yeah, good emote there, Jake. You know, you're on points
Thanks.
right now. You got one more. Can you
Yeah.
handle it?
Hopefully, we'll see.
All right, this is for lemons. I think you might have to pull a Brandon and start selling the team, for picks because your team is pretty trash. You can, I say that, not a ton to sell.
Boom. Roasted.
Well, I think that about does it for this week's Rewind, gentlemen. We have good luck to everyone next week except for Preston, Lemons, and Cade. That. Everyone else, have a fantastic week. Good luck getting your waiver, guys. Better pick up those QBs so Brandon can't.
True.
Jake comes with the true.
I spent 20 on Derek Carr and then dropped him 2 weeks later. No big deal.
That's tough, dude. That is tough.
Whoever I grab's gonna suck anyway.
Oh, Antonio Brown from the rafters.
Love it.
Oh, man. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Bye.